Spawning up in the top left position, we have got the red Protoss player from Poisoned Hearts. It is Acey. And in the bottom right, we've got the blue Zerg from FM Esports. It is Shibbxyz. So, both of these two put up a really good show in game number 1. Shibbxyz just nabbing it with just some good swarm host transitions, some good plays into the corruptors, really shutting down the third nexus of Acey, and that's what allowed him to win that game. Game number 2, where we see Shibbxyz go for another 2-base play, where we see him go for the more standard, really quick expansion. Well, straight away, we've got an alteration in play from Acey, going for the pylon in the main, going to be chucking down a gateway probably pretty soon. Just the gateway expand on Achelon, that's a smart move because it's a really wide ramp area, not easy to wall off, and leaves you vulnerable if you try and take a fast expansion. The gateway expand allows you to put on a bit of pressure, and it's generally just a really nice build, and a lot of Protoss players actually favouring it over any kind of fast expansion on nearly any map, so not something to be surprised at that Acey's doing that. Just good play there. Shibbxyz should still try and get down a pull first. It's generally just a safer way to go 15 pull rather than a 15 hatch 15 pull, just in case you're getting down a forge in your main, which is actually what we're doing. It's not going to be a gateway expand, it's going to be a forge fast expand, but actually the forge in the main base, just to make sure that any early pulls won't be causing Acey problems. But that does not matter for the moment because Shibbxyz, he's got the early pull down. He's just going to be happily going about his normal stuff. If the Nexus doesn't come down super early, then Shibbxyz doesn't have to worry about getting down his third super early either. But he's just got to be ready for it. He's got to be ready to get out relatively quick, unless, of course, he's going to be going for that 2-base play again, going for the really superly fast kind of Hydralisk style. And if he does that, that's good too. So both options are very viable. Oh, nice by Acey there, going for the pylon block. Really frustrating. Something that Shibbxyz isn't going to want to have to deal with. It may actually pigeonhole him into having to go and get down that third first, which is never something you really want to be forced to do. The probe's still just running around, still just being a bit of a pain here. Zerglings are on their way out for getting constructed, but this is actually now becoming quite a big delay here. Another pylon going down. The probe will die, but the pylon is going to delay this even further, and this is one of these things as a Zerg player which it doesn't break your build, it doesn't really set you massively far behind, but it's enough just to be like, ugh, I prefer this wasn't happening. And I know that might not sound like too extreme, just like, oh, I prefer that wasn't occurring, but it's enough to kind of throw you a little bit off your game if you're not really used to dealing with it. So that's something which Acey has managed to achieve now. While getting out the pylon and the cannon here and the natural, the gateway just going to start the wall off. Another gateway should come down on the other, another pylon rather should come down here, and then gateway should follow it up. But all in all, Zergling's going to try and make their way through. Only 4 there. With the cannon, they can sneak through without taking too much damage, which can be a little bit problematic. So that just means that this natural nexus is now going to take a little bit of fire. The gateway is only just about to finish. So actually, this nexus is getting surprisingly beaten about, and it is going to finish. There's no mothership core coming down either, so no chance for photon overcharge or anything like that. The gateway just finishing up now. The Zerglings shouldn't quite be able to do this. Probes are getting pulled down now. So Acey really wants to save this. Zerglings are going to try and go for the probes. Oh, nice little surround there by Acey. Able to get one of the Zerglings down. One probe will die, but one probe, not a massive loss. Keeping that nexus safe and secure is really important. Good micro on these probes here by Acey, and he's going to pull them back and try and really get them caught out of position. So, yep, there we go. Oh, nice micro. Only losing one probe to 4 Zerglings. Really nice play by Acey. Really solid, and definitely something that we want to see more of. Meanwhile, for Shibbxyz here, he's getting up his 3rd queen. Everything's looking pretty swish for him there. Starting to spread the creep. Guarding the lair started really early once more. So going for a very similar style to what we saw in game number 1 from Shibbxyz. Maybe going for the Hydras once more, which would actually be really good because Acey going for a Stargate this game. And if you're going for a Stargate, Hydra's really strong against that because the Robotech's not coming out. And the Overlord, oh, this Overlord Scout is beautiful by Shibbxyz. He knows exactly what's coming down here. He's going to be reacting to it perfectly, and yeah, this couldn't be going much better for Shibbxyz now. He's seen that, now he knows what the Scout's coming down. Are we even going to see that Stargate continue pumping out units, or are we just going to see it not do much at all? Because sending in units now, after that's got so obviously scouted, it could be a little bit dangerous. It may not be able to do much, especially if we see the hydrogen come down once more for Shibbxyz, as we saw in game number 1. But yep, the Stargate is finished. Phoenix could come out to come and pick off the Overlord. That would not be surprising in the slightest, but at the moment, just not really doing anything, just happily sitting there. Did just reselect it, and it's going to be a Void Ray. So Void Ray can come and deal a nice little bit of damage here, can come and try and pick some stuff off, get a couple of Overlords, but Overlord speed is once again being completed, so that means that in comes Overlord, going to see the Void Rays in construction, see nothing coming out of the Forge as well, that's important. Back at Shibbxyz's base though, Shibbxyz, he's getting Infestation Pit, not the Hydralisk Cavern, so different strategy to what we saw last game. And of course, with Overlord speed, these Overlords can just like zoom around everywhere. It's like a constant medevac boost on these Overlords when they've got Overlord speed. It's crazy good, but yeah, getting away safely. Pylon Warlock is going to be completing here. The Sentry diligently working down these rocks. Well, if for any Zerg players out there who thought it was slow seeing like Zerglings try and take out rocks, just be glad you're not a Sentry. That's all I can say. Prismatic Alignment being used because, of course, rocks are armoured. So bonus damage done by Prismatic Alignment. The Overlord now coming in, just getting another quick look around. Meanwhile, third coming down here for Shibbxyz. He's getting Pathogen Glands, so not going to be going for Swarm Host, but instead going to be going up for some Infestors and a lot of Zerglings here. So interesting playstyle coming down from Shibbxyz. Just sending down more Scouts. Sees +1 getting researched here from the Forge. Sees nothing else coming down from the Stargate. And the Overlord's just going to get forced back by this Void Ray. One potentially going to get taken out here. The second one could get taken out too if it's not careful. So Shibbxyz got to be a little bit cautious. Doesn't get himself supply block. These rocks slowly getting taken out. Burrow and Pathogen Glands getting pretty close to... Well, Burrow means the Burrowed Infestors could come in and leave a little bit of fun, especially into the third, which is trying to get taken. And now, as things stand, Shibbxyz, despite having quite a substantial and frustrating supply block, does have his third nearly done. Meanwhile, looking here for Acey, he's just busy getting out some observers, busy teching up, busy taking a third base, because he wants all of the bases and all of the tech, because that's what you can do if your opponent's just not putting on any pressure to you. You should expand, you should make sure that you've got the tech out, because if they're not attacking you now, they're going to be attacking you with something stronger later, and you need something equally strong to defend against it. 6 Infestors are on their way though, a lot of Zerglings on their way across too. Are we going to see Burrowed Infestors launching Infested Terrans everywhere? Or are you just going to see Speedlings charge in? Wow, a lot of Speedlings making their way forward. The Sentry does get taken out, that means no more Force Fields. These Stalkers getting completely surrounded. Nice little timing here by Shibbxyz, and Acey just doesn't have the units here. Cancel Force on that Nexus, big win there for Shibbxyz, who's still just sending in these couple of Zerglings, picking off the Stalkers, and well, nearly all of the Stalkers go down there. The Zerglings are taken out, but brilliant trade there for Shibbxyz, and all in all, that looked pretty good. Acey even finding that pretty amusing. 4 HP remaining on something. I'm not quite sure what that 4 HP was, but there was 4 HP on something. Something somewhere had 4 HP. I'm clicking desperately around and everything, being like, what was it? Where was this 4 HP? Did I miss something exciting? I don't know, but anyway, Hive coming down here for Shibbxyz, so a really quick Hive. He's got no upgrades in terms of attack or defense, so not just going to be going for like 2/2 Ultras really fast, but he does now have the double evolution chamber on its way. The Infestors are there. But there we go. Infested Terrans getting lobbed over. Photon cannon sitting there, but so many Infested Terrans, lots of damage getting done here, and not really much to defend. The pylon's getting focused, which means all of this is getting depowered. And especially important is the fact there we see now that the robotics facilities get depowered, which means no more observer, no more detection, finding these Burrowed Infestors. Gateways getting focused, lots of Infested Terrans dealing so much damage. If the robotics facility goes down, that is a huge loss right there, and it does indeed fall. The gateway also getting targeted down, and now streaming in with a lot of Speedlings. Things looking really good for Shibbxyz here, and he's just going to go down towards the third, using the Infested Terrans just to knock out that Cybernetics core. And at the same time, Zealot Warpins coming down from Acey. He wants to try and defend this, but in as well comes now a couple more Zerglings in part of the wall up as well, preventing that from occurring. A few more Infested Terrans getting thrown out, but it's not enough to clean this through. And luckily for Acey, he keeps up his third, but more Infested Terrans dealing some good damage to that Immortal. He's got to be careful not to lose that. The Infestors on their way back home, 7 more on the way down, 1 melee upgrades, and of course the Hive is now finished. The Ultralisk Cavern just getting started there, as well as a Macro Hatchery. 4th base down 2 here for Shibbxyz. In terms of the work count, it's 66 to 56, so Shibbxyz slightly ahead there, but not by an absolutely massive amount. Double Wall-Off coming down, so we've got the Rock Wall-Off, followed up by the Gateway Wall-Off. So clearly, Acey does not want more Zergling 1-buys, but Acey losing that Cybernetics core Really frustrating. The next one only a quarter done, so pumping out Void Waves because otherwise it's just Zealots ahead. And while getting some Zealots out is good, it's not going to be too strong against mass infested Terrans, which currently we're just seeing really Shibby go for. He's got a lot more infestors on their way out, and he's also got that Ultralisk Cavern about to complete his fifth base, sorry, even now coming down too. So Shibby up at 76 workers in a good spot, getting Neural Parasite down too. This is really Shibby going into Powerhouse macro mode, and it all started after that kind of initial run by where the cancel on the third was achieved and quite a few Stalkers got killed. It's really frustrating trying to come back from that as any player, but especially for Protoss it can be tough because you've lost quite a few units. You can see there's basically no Stalkers on the field. Just really Shibby, or rather Acey quite lucky that Shibby didn't transition into say Mutalisks, because if Mutas would be hitting about now, that would be devastating to Acey. Even though he's got the Stargate down and Phoenix could come out, he wouldn't really have the money to do it. But for the moment, Shibby, he's getting down Ultras, he's getting down 1-1, he's getting down Chitinous Plating. But there is the Void Rays. The Void Rays are going to be relatively good against Ultras, especially with Prismatic Alignment. That could give Acey the chance he needs, but he's going to need to get some more of them out very quickly. But there's only 4 Ultras, that's not a huge number either, but of course Neural Parasite is also coming down. Will Shibby be able to get those Neural Parasites down? Because if he can, that means the Void Rays will go and turn and face their masters, the Immortals. The other big threat to the Ultralisks could get taken down too. So, a lot of stuff on its way. A good number of High Templar there, which unfortunately Storm not so great up against Ultras, but Shibby, he's just trying to get himself into a really good spot at the moment. But all in all, Void Race is going to find a little Queen here, are going to come and take that out, do some nice damage to that Queen as quickly as it can, but the Queen burrows, which is a really smart play actually. And now a lot of Infestors on their way over, Burrowed Infestors coming forward. There is a Fungal Growth going to hit, gets one of them, but only one. More Chain Fungals could occur, the Void Ray is not pulling back any further, but down comes some Infested Terrans. Needs to get another Fungal Growth down on that Void Ray though. There we go, perfect, everything for Shibby good. And there we go, he gets that taken down. 3 more Ultralisks are on their way down, and as we see, these Ultras, they are going to be fairly strong because we've got the 2-2 upgrades on their way. And of course, those 2-2 upgrades are just going to make them so strong. Kind of playing done. The Infestor count up at 15. Shibby, it's going to be able to put on so much pain. A 4th base trying to come down. The 5th base already up now, and the gas getting taken here for Shibby, who's maxed out. He's got a lot of Ultras. The Queen count isn't crazy high. There's 5, so that's 5-1 per base. So he's not going to be going for the mass transfuse play. But what he is going to be doing is pushing in. He's got a lot of Fungal Growths ready. Neural Parasites as well. Could be devastating. But feedbacks on the Infestors could be even worse still. There goes down some mass storms on everything. But there comes down all of the Infested Terrans. More storms coming down on all these Infested Terrans. Mass feedbacks I hear hitting on as much as possible. But the Ultras trying to punch their way through. More Fungal Growths. More Infested Terrans getting thrown out. Just everywhere. Just so many Infested Terran eggs everywhere we can see. And the Ultras still trying to punch their way through. The entire army getting taken out. And Shibby will be victorious, taking the series 2-0.